Cooking great food doesn't mean spending a fortune in acquiring fancy equipments. All you need are basic essentials that aid in your cooking, make your work easier and enjoyable. Hello and welcome to Jackie's Kitchen. My name is Jacqueline Njala. If you're new here, this is your first time, you're in the right place. Welcome, and I hope you subscribe and come back again for more. If you're a repeat viewer, hello, and thank you for clicking to watch this video again. Jackie's Kitchen is here for you. So in this video today, we're not going to do a recipe, we're not going to cook any meal, we're going back to basics. I'm going to share with you the kitchen tools that I use, as basic as they are, but they make my work in the kitchen easier, and I believe if you have them and you use them, you will also enjoy your work in the kitchen. So to start us off, my very first item is a chopping board. Almost all recipes, except maybe for pastry, require that you either cut an onion, something. There's always something to be chopped. And for safety, you will need a chopping board. This makes your work easier in that it forms a platform where you cut your vegetables or whatever it is that you want to cut. And you can have a plastic or a wooden one like this one, or even ceramic boards. But the basic is that your chopping board should be able to be used in both sides, and it should be fit on your working surface comfortably. And then you can always make it even more stable by putting either a kitchen towel or a wet tissue beneath it. That makes it more stable when you're cutting. And to make your chopping boards last longer, if it's wooden, you can always treat it with oil, even cooking oil once in a while. And always make sure when you clean it, you hang it somewhere where it drains water, it does not soak. It will serve you for a lifetime. So now that we have our chopping boards, the next items we need to chop anything are knives. I have a dozen of these, but to be honest, I only use mostly these three. These are the three knives I use. This is a chef's knife. It has a heavy handle, heavy blade, and it basically cuts everything. Perfect for precise chopping. And I use this for slicing. The difference between these two is that this is lighter, this one is heavier. I use these two basically for the same things. But this tiny little baby of mine here, I love it. When you're cutting small things, like let's say you're peeling something like ginger, yeah, with all the curves that it has, it's very difficult if you're using these two knives. But with this little knife, my paring knife, this is just perfect for such works. So how do you know that your knife is the best? One, the handle has to feel right. Whenever you're buying a knife, just make sure you hold the handle and feel the grip. You have to be in control of your knife, otherwise it will cut you. The heavier the handle, the more control you have over the blade. And always make sure that your knives are sharpened. There is nothing as horrible as working with a blunt knife, so always make sure your knives are sharpened. So the next items are strainers and colanders. Now for this, you can have either the plastic or the metallic one, but I prefer this plastic because it is easier to clean. Now for recipes that call for baking powder, you need to sieve your flour and whatever else that requires sieving. So I use this. Now for the colanders, these are basically for draining meals that have a recipe where you're supposed to boil some ingredients. Like say when you're doing a pasta dish, you will blanch your pastas, then drain them. You can use this. So with this, you need the sink, or you can use this. This one you don't need to be near the sink. You pour whatever it is that you want to drain, and once you remove this, the liquid remains in the blue one, and what you're supposed to use remains in this. I also use this when I'm frying, say, chicken, and I need to drain excess oil. So you put, say, a plate beneath it, then place this colander, and whenever you deep frying something, you place it here and the excess oil drains. The next item we'll be talking about is measuring cups and weighing scale. Now, cooking is an art and science, and precision is very important when it comes to cooking. Most recipes call for measurements like grams, so I use this to weigh the solid ingredients, and for anything that calls for, say, milliliters or half a cup, a teaspoon, I use these measuring cups, and they have from the tiniest, which is a teaspoon, to the very large, that is 1 cup. So this is what I use for measuring my stuff. Now for these items that I'm talking to you about, if you're in the coast region, you can always get them from Jikoni Palace. Like this one, I got it from Jikoni Palace. I'll share a link to their page and also leave the contacts, so you can contact them if you need any of the things that I have displayed here. I'm going to talk to you about these tiny pieces. These are vegetable peelers and cutters. This one is very efficient and effective when you're cutting vegetables like kales or cabbages and you don't want to use a chopping board. It's actually faster. And the good thing with this, unlike a knife, they are very, it's not easy for you to cut yourself with this one. So when you're chopping vegetables, you want it quick without a chopping board, this is the perfect one to use. And this little thing here, it's a vegetable peeler. You can use it to peel carrots, potatoes, cucumbers, and what have you. And I also use it to like slice cheese when I want to slice cheese, or also scrap chocolate. Now, this is a lemon squeezer, so already you know what it is used for. And it makes the work easier in that you do not need to start collecting seeds once you're done. It only gives you what you want, which is the lemon juice. So you put, in most adverts I see them displaying it with the half lemon facing up. That is wrong. The lemon should face upside down, then you press and the juice comes through these holes. Now this as tiny as it is, most recipes, rather meals like say lunch, dinner, you will need to use garlic for the people who like spices. If you want to use a freshly minced garlic, this is the perfect to use. It's a piece. This side has holes, I hope you can see that, and there is another presser that has pins. These pins go through the holes and make sure that there is no garlic left in this presser. So there it is. There is our garlic, 1 clove of garlic pressed, and it's easy to wash once you disengage it and you just clean it immediately. Gives you an easy time. Baking trays. If you like baking, and baking trays are not just for cakes. There are so many recipes that require you to put things in the oven. Say for example, you're required to put meat, you're either roasting it in the oven. Now if you use just the oven rack, the juices will go into your oven, they will burn, and then it becomes so hard to clean your oven. But once you have these oven trays, or rather baking trays, when you want to roast anything, you put in, you can have a metallic one or the glass ones, whatever. There is even ceramic, whatever it is that you have. It's easier if you place whatever you want to cook through the oven on a baking tray. That way, once you remove your food, you only need to clean these trays, so nothing spills into your oven. Of course, once in a while you'll need to clean your oven, but if you let everything spill into the oven, burn, then you clean, it destroys the lifetime of your cooker. So next, by the Jikoni Palace, thank you so much for this. This is just something else. So these are graters. You can use to grate cheese, carrots, potatoes, any meal that requires something grated. So you can use that. Personally I use this one grating, say, cheese, and I'm adding it to a meal that is already on the cooking pot. Yeah, so you just grate over and it falls into the cooking pot. Now for this one, it comes with 4 attachments. This is the holding container where whatever your grating goes into. So it has this that is to slice vegetables, could be cucumber, onions. This is larger, it gives you bigger pieces. This gives you medium, and this is for fine grating. Yeah, so you will need these. And the advantage, as I said, this one comes with a container. You fix the lid like that, and when you grate anything, it goes into this container. Yeah, so again gives you less work cleaning your working surface once you're done cooking. So the next thing I really use in my kitchen are the cling film and the aluminium foil. Now cling film, I use it to keep my mostly vegetables fresh. Now for aluminium foils, you use it if you're baking anything. Let's say you're roasting meat, you will need to cover it in aluminium foil so that it cooks faster before you remove it and let it broil and cook completely. Now you can also use this to keep your foods warm if you're not eating them immediately. Yeah, so you need these in the kitchen. So lastly, I have this, which is a food processor. If you have a blender, you may think that you don't need a food processor, but trust you me, this one has its own work that, especially this compartment, has its own work that blender cannot do. So it comes with a blender compartment and the chopping compartment. So the chopping compartment comes with 2 blades. These blades are very strong. There is this that is metallic. This one is for tough things like nuts. You want to mince meat, you can use your food processor. And this is when you want to make dough. You can do dough with this processor, and you use this one. Then if you want to chop, it comes with like this. So this is piece that you can insert for grating, or this piece that can be used for chopping. So then you place it on this and cover it. Then whatever it is you want to chop, you put it inside here, so that when you run your mortar, this thing rotates and chops your vegetables very fast. So those are 10 items I've shared with you that can actually help you in the kitchen, and I hope you try them out. If there's any that you don't have and you need, please contact Jikoni Palace, they'll get it for you. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked the video. Have fun in the kitchen, guys. See you in the next video.